Hi, I'm Dr. Katie Landier, the Senior Centered Physical Therapist, and welcome back. In today's video, I'll be showing you some balance exercises I love to give my clients. Training balance, just like any type of strengthening or exercise, is key to maintaining a healthy, independent lifestyle as we age. So balance is a result of feedback to our brain from three different things. So one is proprioception, and that's the feedback we get from our feet or from our body to the brain. The next one is our vestibular system, and that's found in the inner ear. And then lastly is our vision. So as PTs, if you've ever been to a clinic, you'll notice we'll mess with those three things to try to challenge the balance. Because to challenge the balance, we can improve our balance. So for today, all you'll need is either something to hold on to just in case you lose your balance, or I actually recommend standing in a corner so that you have walls behind you. Also, you'll need something like a marker or a pen or anything that you can use to just kind of keep a visual gaze at in front of you. That's all you'll need for this workout, so let's get started. Okay, so as I said in the intro, I highly recommend you stand in the corner in order to do any kind of balance exercise, because then if you need to, you can kind of put your hands on the wall if you feel a little bit unstable. But no one puts baby in the corner, so I'm gonna do this standing in the middle of the room and just have a chair nearby if I need it. So first, we're just gonna grab our object we're gonna stare at. It can be a marker, it can be a pen, it can be a remote control, doesn't matter. But I'm gonna hold it out arm's distance in front of me at my eye line really. And then I'm gonna make sure that I have a good base of support in the feet. So I like to use what's called the 4 tires. So if your foot was a car, you have 2 tires in the front, one at the big toe, one at the pinky toe, and then 2 tires in the back, one on each side of the heel. And I want even tire pressure, and that's gonna help me stay nice and balanced. So I've got that marker in front of me. I'm just looking directly at the marker, and then I'm gonna turn my head, but keep my eyes on the marker. This is where you get the crazy eyes a little bit, because your eyes wanna stay really wide in order to see. But this is actually harder than it looks, and you might notice you're kind of swaying. That's okay, you can always put your hand back on that wall if you've got it. But we're just gonna turn one more each side, and then find center. And then the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna move the pen. So this is messing with that vestibular system a little bit. So I'm gonna move the pen one direction, turn my head the other direction, and keep my eyes on the pen the whole time. So this is a much bigger challenge. So you can work up to this for sure. It's okay if that first one is a challenge for you too. I love this one also because it helps strengthen the muscles in the eye. So it's a win-win. I'm gonna do one more each side, and then find center, and then we can just set our marker down, making sure it's not gonna roll on the floor where we're gonna trip over it. Next, we're gonna do marches. So this is where that 4 tires of the foot are gonna be really important. So normally when you march, you'll see people kind of kick their hip out. We wanna stay nice and stable in that hip, and then lift that leg straight up, and lower it down, and then switch to the other side. See, everyone has balance challenges. If it's a lot for you to switch, you can always just stay on one side and lift and lower, just trying to keep those toes spread, trying to keep that foot nice and stable. I'm gonna just do a little alternating here. So just marching in place. So this is kind of that single leg stand that you find at the PT clinic. A little more functional because we're getting a little bit more deep hip flexion. So the higher we can lift that thigh, the more of those deep hip flexors we can get. Really important for things like getting off from the toilet, getting in and out of the car, things like that. I'll just do one more each side. And find center, we can find a little shake of the legs, that's totally fine. So the next thing we're gonna do is called a tandem walk. So I'm gonna take a step backwards just so you can see me a little bit better here. So tandem, one foot in front of the other. So to start, you're just gonna do that and notice how your balance is. For some people, it's gonna be all over the place. If that's you, you can move your foot a little bit away from your other toe, that's okay. But if this is a challenge, you can just stay there, try to keep your weight even between the front and back foot. Keep your arms out, whatever you need to do, and you can hold it for 30 seconds or however long you can hold it, and then switch sides. If this isn't a challenge, we're gonna do tandem walking. So I'm just gonna walk forward, heel toe, and then I'm gonna catch myself and I'm gonna walk backward. So you can see how this is a good challenge for all of us, right? So really, really narrow, like we're tightrope walking. Base of support here really challenges that balance. And once again, feel free to hold on to that wall to work your way up to this. That is completely fine. Our last thing we're gonna do is called stepping strategies. So there's a couple things with stepping strategies. One, we're gonna put ourselves out of our normal base of support, which challenges the balance. But two, we're actually gonna take a step. And this is mimicking if we're about to trip and fall, we're gonna step and catch ourselves. So the way we wanna do this, find those feet hip distance apart. We're gonna lean forward. So you can already see my balance is a little bit off because I'm leaning off of those back two tires. So I'm gonna lean forward, and then when I can't lean anymore, I'm gonna take a step and throw my arms out to the side. And the arms are gonna help too. So we really wanna create a bigger base of support if we're falling, because that's gonna help us catch ourselves. Then we're gonna push up from that front leg, little balance challenge there. Then we can do it on the other side. Lean forward and step. And make that step really dramatic. Make sure you're really putting that foot on the floor. Your feet should be nice and wide. Putting your foot here isn't gonna do anything. We wanna make sure we're nice and stable here. So we can do that both sides because you never know what's gonna happen, what's gonna trip you up, what foot you're gonna need to react. So that's forward. Next, we're gonna go to the side. So same thing, find those feet. We're gonna lean and step. This is everyone's favorite. It feels a lot safer than forward and back. But it's also not a way a lot of people fall over. So a lot of people don't just timber over to the side. Still important to train, but just not probably as functional. I'll make sure I do both sides, but you'll notice too, I'm letting my feet get closer and closer together each time. So that way I can't even lean as far before I have to react. And the more we train this outside of falling, the more natural it becomes if we actually do fall. Last one is everyone's least favorite, but probably the most important, and that's backwards. So for this one, I'm gonna lean back, and the brain hates it because it really feels like we're gonna fall, but that's good for the balance challenge. So I lean back, step back, throw my arms forward. So if we're going backward, we need something pushing us in the opposite direction. So I lean back, step back, throw those arms forward. Once again, do that on both sides. If any of these feel really unsafe for you, make sure you don't do them alone. Make sure you have supervision of someone at home, or even better, a physical therapist. But that's all the balance exercises I have for you today. Excellent work. Keep working on that balance to maintain an active, independent lifestyle. Until next time, I'm Dr. Katie Landier, the senior-centered physical therapist. Have the strength to live life to the fullest. Bye-bye.